He's a Grammy winner. He sold 30 million albums. Chart-topping songs. He's written for Barbra Streisand, Keith Urban, Josh Groban, Luther Vandross, and many, many others. Yes, Richard Marx is a force. His songs have been keeping country records selling these days. It's been more than a decade since Richard actually recorded a Richard Marx album, but now he has. His CD is called Beautiful Goodbye. I hope that's not like goodbye, like this is my last album. Goodbye. We'll ask him. Buy your copy of Beautiful Goodbye at Target and you get bonus tracks. Find a link at richardmarx.com. We'll actually link to that at bobrivers.com as well. Richard Marx, we've had you in the studio a couple of years ago. Welcome back to the Bob Rivers Show. How are you?
I'm really good. How are you guys?
Great. It's good to hear from you. You know, the day you came in, I was flying out of town and I had to leave while you played live.
Oh, I remember. That was the story you told, at least that day.
That's right. I heard you were mildly offended, or gave you a chance to do one of your famous tweets, and I do apologize. It wasn't intentionally rude of me, and I listened to the broadcast afterwards. We're going to replay one of your live songs today. It was so well done.
Oh, thank you. No, are you kidding me? You gave me material for Twitter. It was awesome.
Yes, and you have fun on Twitter. How many Twitter followers do you have?
I don't know. I think it's like 120,000 or something like that.
Yeah, that's actually, Luciana was saying, it was well into the 100,000 range. And they love you on Twitter because you're a little acerbic. You tell them what's going on. But you also have, from what I understand, fans can access you, and you will tweet back.
Yeah, no, I tweet back a lot. I mean, especially, the last few days, the followers, and even people that don't necessarily follow me, but that maybe just bought the album, they've been tweeting such beautiful, nice things to me that I'm not going to just read it and go, oh, that's nice. I mean, the least I can do is thank them, and sometimes people will tweet me questions that I'm comfortable answering, and sometimes, you just ignore it. But I'm pretty interactive with it. Yeah, I think it's, look, Twitter is something that I was a holdout for a long time. I only joined up a few years ago, and I thought it was just pointless and stupid for a long time. And I have to say, because of Twitter, there are people in my life that have changed my life. And it's all because of Twitter. And it ranges from people like Matt Nathanson, the singer-songwriter, who we tweeted. He tweeted something about me, and I responded or whatever. And now we're friends. I sat in with him at his show at the Greek Theater a couple of weeks ago. And Sarah Bareilles and I tweeted each other, and now we've written songs together and are really good friends. And there's more examples of people that I now know and that are in my life because of Twitter. So I can never, ever slag Twitter again.
Richard,
ever.
You and Matt Nathanson should get a reality show together. That dude is hilarious. People don't even understand.
Well, he's when he and I get together, it's like we can't get together if either of us has a show the next night because we're going to laugh our throats away. And he's one of my favorite people to hang out with. He's one of the funniest people I've ever met. But he's just a really good guy.
And by the way, you're also big on Facebook, so very into the social media. And yet, even when we look at you using the old metrics of charts and sales and things like that, I mean, you here's one that blew me away. You had 14 across all formats. You've had 14 number one songs, either as songwriter or performer. You've had songs that you either wrote or co-wrote reach number one in 4 different decades. You've sold 30 million albums. Your first 7 singles all reached the top 5 on the Billboard charts. I got to ask, with all of that, do you assume that everything you're going to do is going to be successful, or do you have any of that artist insecurity in you?
I don't expect anything. I have no expectations. I think that what I've learned really recently is to become, as best you can, detached from the outcome. It's the truth is that as blessed and fortunate as I've been and grateful as I am for the success that I've had in my career, I didn't plan any of it. I planned the work, and I did the work, and I enjoyed every second of the work. And it's really the the doing and the making that is the most thrilling. It's not the aftermath. As much as I love having had, number one songs and played concerts at places I never imagined I'd play and all that. It's really the work. It's really, doing this album, for example, having not recorded, a proper album for myself in such a long time. I never thought beyond how lucky I was to be in a studio singing songs that I knew people were going to hear. It's humbling. So
by the way, thank you. What a great answer that was.
Well, it's true. It's all about gratitude, and it's all about being in the moment that you're in. Not thinking about what's going to happen or planning for it or expecting either it to be hugely successful or expecting it not to be. I don't really spend a lot of time in that mind space. I just kind of.
All right. Now the album is called Beautiful Goodbye. There's not a hidden message in that, like Richard Marx is about to move to an island and remove himself from humanity, or all that, or anything like that. You never know. Yeah.
No expectations.
All right. And by the way, you've also written a lot of country songs, and you've had some success. What is the biggest one that someone might not realize is you?
The biggest one would be a song called Better Life that Keith Urban recorded. And Keith and I, it was the first song we wrote together back, I think, in 2004. And then we wrote another big hit for him called Everybody. And then last year, I think, or a year and a half ago, we had another number one together that he did called Long Hot Summer, which I think is my favorite song we've written together so far. So we keep going uphill as far as I'm concerned. But I've written songs with an array of country artists. I just wrote a couple of songs with Vince Gill for his new album. I just wrote a couple of songs with Darius Rucker a couple weeks ago. I don't know what will happen with those songs, but he may
it's the work.
He may not.
It's not in the outcome, it's in the work. All right, so here a quick question for you about country. There's a little bit of a country controversy brewing over how women are treated in some of their songs. Have you heard that Girl in a Country song?
No, I haven't heard that.
We played this yesterday. These gals put out this song about how all these songs are misogynist. Like,
my name ain't Honey, my name ain't Sweetie Pie.
I'd like to get a piece of that.
Right.
Honky tonk, badonka-donk, and all that. You haven't written that kind of song, have you?
No.
No. All right.
No, women are the most glorious thing ever. How could you not? How could you write anything?
Well said.
I told you guys.
I guess what we're saying is,
I just said that this morning.
Well, I guess what we're saying is, could you write more country so that crap will stop?
But if someone called you and said, "I need a real,"
I need a song about a pair of short shorts, Daisy Dukes, top tied up in a bun next to a bent over his jukebox. Go!
It's closing time at the bar, and I need to get her loaded and get a piece of that. Can you write something like? No, probably not.
But I got to say, but the truth is, I'm thinking right now, I can't count the number of times I've referred to a woman in songs as baby, and
that's true. Yeah,
I'm 50 years old, and the title track, we mentioned the title track, "Beautiful Goodbye." The first line of that song is, "Baby, don't you look so sad," and I don't think, at least the women that I've known in my life, they don't take that in any way. Like, who are you calling baby?
Right.
That's because
know that it's meant with tremendous affection.
That's because they're women in your life, and you actually know their name.
Yeah. You actually know their names.
You've met them before.
These other songs we referred to
Sure.
didn't bother to get the name.
So it's in the follow-up as well.
Yeah.
All right.
It's all in the follow-up.
Yeah. Richard Marx, Beautiful Goodbye. We're going to link to it. Richard, it's always a pleasure. And later on the show, we're going to be, actually, coming up in about 10 minutes, we'll play you a little bit of Richard Marx from his visit here as well. Yes, Joe, last word.
Quickly, Richard, I know it has been a long time since you put out a record. You may have forgotten how this goes, but usually when you put out a new record, you do a tour. And I'm looking on your tour site, and it says no dates. Are you going to go out and play some of this live somewhere?
Yeah, we're actually getting ready to announce a bunch of dates. I'm actually starting in China in 2 weeks. I'm going to China, and I'll be playing all over the world, for at least the next year or so.
Cool.
So sometime in the Pacific Northwest. I would love to, I apologize for walking out last time. I would love to meet you in person. It's really, you're very inspirational.
Thank you. Well, let's do that. Let's make a plan.
Richard Marx calling us this morning from New York City. All the info on his album will be at bobrivers.com. All the best, Richard.
You too.